What? These 9 albums are celebrating their 50th anniversary this year? This is crazy to me. I'm only 1 year younger. I don't even feel that old. These albums are 50 years old. I want to discuss these albums. There's 9 of them I'm going to go through today. So please join me for that. Welcome to the Audiophiles, guys. Thank you so much. If you're a subscriber already, awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm trying to continuously grow my channel. I'm looking to get to 2,000 subscribers. So if you haven't stopped, hit that subscription button, hit that bell, subscribe to my channel. I promise you there's going to be great stuff going forward. There's going to be prizes when I hit 2,000 subscribers. So if you're a subscriber, you're going to get a chance to win a prize or two, an album, other equipment. You'll have to wait and see. Subscribe to find out, I guess. Before I start, before I want to discuss the 9 albums that are turning 50, it's just crazy to me. I still can't believe it. A couple of shout outs. If you guys are a part of Facebook, have a look at the Mobile Fidelity Sound Labs group if you want to learn more about Mobile Fidelity albums. There's the Audiophiles group. It's a new group that just got started. It's where you can post anything audiophile, vinyl, SACDs, equipment, gear. You can discuss, argue, whatever you want to do. Take a look at the Audiophiles. That's going to be a fun one. There's the Analog Productions fan club, Anything AP, great group if you guys are into Analog Productions SACDs or their vinyl. And last but not least, where I get a lot of my albums, I'm the founding member, the MoFi Audiophile Vinyl Buy and Sell Club. Join it if you haven't already, but please don't blame me if you have less money after joining that club, because it's absolutely awesome. So let's get right to it. Let's look at 9 albums that are only 1 year older than me, turning 50 this year. I still can't believe it. We'll see you on the other side. Nine albums that turned 50 years old this year. Crazy to me. I still can't believe it. I feel like I'm 20 and I can't believe these albums are 50. So let's get right to it. If you guys are interested to learn more about which albums turn 50, stay tuned here because this is a fun one. Paul Simon's self-titled Paul Simon. I mean, this album was huge. Big hits on the radio. Some of these songs from this album have been playing on the radio for the past 50 years. Songs that you know, Me and Julio, Down by the Schoolyard, and Mother and Child Reunion. 2 big hits, classic hits, still being played today. Number 2, Neil Young's Harvest. Now, this album was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame, obviously. I mean, it's classic. It was the best-selling album of 1972, and has some of his most famous songs, most popular songs. You guys know it, Heart of Gold, and of course, Old Man, 2 of his biggest hits. Now, stay tuned later in I guess a week or two, I'm going to be doing a full review and shootout of Neil Young's Harvest album. I'm going to be shooting out the Nautilus Super Disc versus the Chris Bellman 2009 pressing and the original 1972 pressing by Lee Hulko from Sterling Sound. So stay tuned for that one. Number 3, Allman Brothers Band, Eat a Peach. Now, unfortunately, this was Duane Allman's last album. It was released just after he passed away from a motorcycle accident. Now, it featured some of the biggest songs, such as Melissa, Big Sky, and the marathon of a song. You guys know it, Mountain Jam, with a running time of 33 minutes and 41 seconds. Absolute monster of a song. Allman Brothers Band, Eat a Peach. Classic, turning 50 this year. Number 4, the Rolling Stones, Exile on Main Street. Now, this is a real rock and roll album. I guess if you were to ask Paul McCartney, he'd say it's a blues album, but I think this is a rock and roll album. I mean, it reached number 1 on the Billboard charts when it was released. It was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame. This album, by far, I mean, it's not my personal favorite Rolling Stones album. You guys know from my past videos, it's Some Girls, but from a rock and roll perspective, yeah, this album kicks ass. The Rolling Stones, Exile on Main Street. No, Paul, this isn't a blues record. Number 5, Aretha Franklin, Young, Gifted, and Black. Now, this album has become certified gold. It won Franklin a Grammy for Best Female R&B Vocal Album. It featured one of Franklin's biggest hits, Rock Steady. And it also has an incredible cover song, and it's also the title song of the album, Young, Gifted, and Black. I mean, this album is a solid album all the way through. If you haven't listened to it, or if you haven't listened to it in almost 50 years, depending how old you are, listen to it. It is incredible. I'm going to keep going here. Number 6, Elton John, Honky Chateau Baby. I love this one. It's John's 5th studio album. Now, what's cool about this album, this is his first of 7 consecutive albums to hit number 1 after it's released. And we all know it. We all love it. At least I love it. One of his most famous songs from this album, Rocket Man. Check out the 50th birthday of Honky Chateau. Grab a copy, guys. Incredible album. Number 7, the late, great David Bowie. The album, it's 50 years old. The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spider from Mars. I mean, who doesn't own this album? I mean, this blasted Bowie into legendary international stardom and fame. This is what really put him on the map of no return in terms of his celebrity and his status and everything in his career. I mean, just jettisoned after that. Some of the big hits, you guys know them: Starman, Ziggy Stardust, and Suffragette City, which is actually my favorite song on that album. Love that song. And that song, I mean, it's been playing for the past 50 years on any FM radio station you turn to. That's probably played every single day. So David Bowie, The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust, turns 50 years old this year. Amazing. Number 8, Stevie Wonder, Talking Book. I love this album. I mean, it really showcases Wonder's real extreme talent, and I felt in this album his real willingness and to really explore and take some risks with his work, and it basically paid off. I mean, it won him his first Grammy for this record, and such hits as Sunshine of My Life, and of course the smash hit FM played all the time, Superstition. Just incredible. And last but not least, I gotta pull it out because it just came out late last year by Mobile Fidelity Sound Labs in one-step format, 45 RPM. Yes, this album turns 50 years old this year, guys. The Eagles' self-titled album, their debut album that took them to absolute astronomical heights. It only peaked at number 22 in the Billboard chart, surprisingly enough. But I mean, some of the hits that came off this album, Take It Easy, Witchy Woman, and Peaceful, Easy Feeling. And I don't know about you, but I think this last year, 2021, this could have been Mobile Fidelity's best sounding album and best sounding one step of the year. Love it. Perfectly mastered. They did a hell of a job in this one. If you can pick one up in the aftermarket, grab one. If you're lucky enough to have one, play it. And you know what you should be doing? Spinning that vinyl and turning it up really loud. We'll see you again next time on The Audiophile.